Okay. All right, it looks like it's working. All right, this is what I'm going to try to do today. It will be a short video. Some of you like short videos, some of you like longer videos. But today, the reason it's going to be short is if I don't keep it short, then it's going to be too long. It's on a subject which is incredibly complicated. Okay. On top of that, we do not know the accuracy of this information. This information it's not disinformation, it is this information. Comes from multiple sources. But again, you have to remember that the information that we have on this planet is distorted to the highest imaginable levels, and not to show them as superior, but because of their genetic modifications on us, on humanity, the people who modified the records and falsified everything, distorted everything, has really high IQs, okay? Much higher than ours. We are talking like 600, 800 kind of IQs, and there are a lot of them. A huge manpower, financial power, everything that you can imagine. That's why the planet, our planet, is in this shape. And I cannot remember everything because they modified me as well, of course. But I do feel that the reason most probably I went into onto the journey of becoming one with the Supreme Creator, and seeing all the negative things that my family did on this planet was the main motivator for me to stay behind and then protect as much as I can humanity and tell them the real story of this planet. And that's why I have been awakened, no matter how much they limited the genes of humans, because I am human at this moment. I was human as well before. I have a very, very mixed background when you look at the genealogy, but then I was made into an archangel because of my prayers, because of my help to everybody, and I was sent back as consciousness to be awakened at this time, because that's the way it is, that's the way the universe works, because they didn't fulfill the agreement. The agreement was my half-brother Marduk was supposed to give control back to humans and keep the peace on this planet. Of course, he didn't do it, and he had to do it by 2012, actually even earlier than that, but he didn't do it, and the situation got into such a complex environment. Now we have so many different parties involved and so much misinformation, and more than misinformation, there is so much disinformation. And because of this, we cannot be sure about anything. That's why I do not trust anybody who does not show themselves openly to humanity. Okay, just a second. Little drink. So what I'm trying to do is to visualize for everybody the complex situation and why it is complex. If you have a big family, if you come from like Italian, Eastern European, Greek, Russian, Slovak, any kind of family, like knit family style background, you will know it's very complicated. One day, certain relatives can be at peace, and another day they can be at war with each other. So the situation here, what you're going to see is actually the source of all the kingdoms and the empires on Earth, because the system that they copied is the same. They used it on human environments because that's what they know. All right. I'm going to show you most probably the strangest family tree you will ever see. Okay, and it's not complete by any means, but I wanted to show something before I wait for it to be complete, because it might never get completely done. It's such a complex mess. It's difficult to imagine that this is going to be completely finished. So let's start. Ta-da! I have to share my screen. And there we go. Okay, so what is this? This is a genealogy software, okay? One of the best ones that you can get. This is the iPad version, but the iPad version is exactly same power as desktop version. Let's start. And there is a story, of course, behind this. I have to go top. The easiest way to do that is to go to the first king of Nibiru. All right. So there's so many branches of this family tree, it's impossible to show everything properly on a small screen. I can make it smaller, but then it's going to be nearly impossible for you to see. So let's, well, it does maximum 5 or 6 levels, I guess, at the same time. So once upon a time, in a galaxy far, far away, the story starts on a planet called, as some say, Nibiru. Okay, so that's one thing. And the king, the first king, unified the planet because there was a war between the south and north, and they nuked each other. They messed up the environment of their planet, obviously. And there was a truce, and the part who won, actually, the stalemate, married the daughter of the losing part to create a joint family so that there won't be any more wars. And that is the first king of Nibiru, called An. All right, that is where our story starts and continues. It's a long story. This is where I'm 100% sure George Lucas got the ideas of the Star Wars series. So, some of the kings' names I still haven't discovered by generation. There are a couple of names missing, okay? So bear with me with that. After An, and you have to understand this is a patriarchal system. It's like the British royal family. Mostly the British royal family is made after this. So we have the second generation king, and then there are multiple children, of course. And then there's another line which didn't become king, and the youngest son of An was Enuru. And now we are following this at the same level. We come to the third generation. We still do not know this king's name, and we also do not know who is the first generation from Enuru. And then when we continue, when we reach the fourth level of kings, we know the name is, it's going to be difficult to properly pronounce this. Anshurgal, I guess. Okay, so that is the fourth generation from An, and this is the king of Nibiru. At the same time, the same generation equals to the second generation from Enuru. And then we go one level down. Now it's going to get even more complex, because the first generation from Anshurgal, we do not know the name, but then there is the king also. So there are multiple children, as you can see. One of them became king, the fifth king, okay? And since they have now multiple male children, we are continuing. So from Enuru's side now, we are on the fourth generation from Enuru. From Anshurgal, we are at the second generation, who is not king, but also there is the sixth king coming from An, who is called Anshar. Does the name ring a bell? It's very similar to something. Anshar command, commander Anshar. Yeah, let's see. So now from here down, we have to choose a branch. This is how it works, because it's too complex. Let's continue from the king's line, okay? The sixth king, who is Anshar, let's focus on that. And as you can see, it's actually bringing as much as it can, the software, together. So now we are looking at Anshar, and then from Anshar there is the seventh king, Duru, and from Duru there is the eighth king, which is called Lahma, and his wife was Lamaha. So now continuing from the king's lineage, now we are at the eighth king. And okay, I know what happened here. Nothing comes from Lahma's lineage, so we have to go back. Now we go back to the fourth generation king, Anshurgal. Remember, it was going like the fifth king, and then the sixth king, seventh king, eighth king. but the eighth king, it stops there. We had to switch to the other son coming from Anshurgal, and that's the first generation, second generation, third generation, and then now we are getting close to what we are going to discuss. Comes to King Alalu, okay? And at this point, the story is important. If you remember, if you go back, here, King Lahma, okay, was actually not competent ruler and was challenged by King Alalu. And King Alalu actually defeated him and then became the king. Okay? And at the same time, there was another descendant, if you remember, that comes from the youngest son of the first king, Enur. And then let's see what happens. First generation, second generation, third, fourth, fifth, still no king from this line. And then, yeah, we are getting somewhere. Okay. Now, if you remember from the other end, there was King Alalu, okay? I'm going to focus on Anu right now. On the other side, there was King Alalu. As King Alalu did to his predecessor, same thing happened with Anu. Anu said Alalu is not fit to rule, so he actually, there is a law, Niburian law, which is a crown prince can challenge the king to a wrestling match, which is basically made completely naked. Reminds me of a Turkish tradition that the wrestlers are bathed in complete olive oil, and they only wear very tight shorts, nothing else. So you can imagine, like, it's completely like sliding over, and where do you put your hand and how do you hold the other person? It's done every year. Interesting, because this is very similar, except this one was completely naked. So Anu beats Alalu, becomes king, but at that time they made a deal. Alalu said, let me stay as king, and I will actually give your son my daughter, so that our lineage continues like that, so there won't be any more wars. Thinking about the future of the planet, Anu agrees to it. So basically he's not going to be king, but his son is going to be king when Alalu leaves the throne. So he says okay, and his oldest son, Enki, marries the daughter of Alalu, who is Damkina. And but Alalu do not keep his promises. He basically treats Anu as a cupbearer, a servant, instead of like a crown prince. And Anu challenges Alulu a second time, and then defeats him again, and then he leaves the planet. The story of that King Alulu's leaving Nibiru is interesting, but it's for another time, because he is the first Nibirian to come to planet Earth. Okay? Then he escaped from Nibiru. Now, we are relying on the ancient texts that come from Sumer. So, it's a nice story, and it's very complicated story. Hopefully, we get most of it correct. Let's continue. And then we have King Anu with his family. If you concentrate on Damkina, we are going to see that she is the descendant of Alulu, and then marries Enki, and oh my God, they have a son called Marduk, my half brother, and he is the he is the menace that nobody else can match. Yeah, the most destructive and most power-lusty being ever existed. The profile of Satan is actually designed after his traits. Anyways, so we have here King Anu's lineage merging with King Alulu's lineage, and we end up with Enki and Damkina's son Marduk. Now Marduk, you're going to see, has a different, very different lineage than anybody else of the Anunnaki on this planet. Okay? The reason for that is he comes from the King Alulu's line, and he also comes from King Anu's line as well. So they go from two different lines, lineages, to two brothers of King Anu, the first king. of them are reptilian. And some Nordics, the ones with the blue eyes, white skin, white hair, or blonde hair, they are the ones who helped actually the Nazis in the Second World War. And they are called the Aryans, the Aryan race. But if you say it a couple of times, Aryan, 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 Orion, Orion, so that's where that comes from, Orion. Who controls our planet today? There are multiple races, multiple power centers. There are like races like Dracos, reptoids, raptors, humanoid and Nordic races, non-humanoid Nordic races, the Greys, so many different ET races, and there are the different factions between them that cooperate or fight as well. The moon is a base for multiple ET races too. There are multiple bases underneath the sea as well, and inside Earth too. There is another story for that, the inner Earth stuff. And the reason that the Earth population right now is kept in this stasis, basically it's a stasis, is that the ETs do not want the human population to know what's really going on, because they are afraid that once the humans are awake, they will basically revolt to the leaders of their countries and eventually take control of the planet themselves and kick the ETs out, which I hope happens as soon as possible. But that said, again, how many people will listen to this broadcast? A couple of. Everything is controlled, everything is suppressed. Especially around me, I'm not allowed to do anything. Like they're keeping me just as an observer at this moment. All of the things that I am telling, it only reaches a couple of people. And we are still being manipulated by electromagnetic waves, even technologies further than that. If you're having difficulty remembering what you were supposed to do today, or what you had for lunch yesterday, is because of these manipulations. Even I cannot remember, like I keep lists because of that. Otherwise, I keep forgetting the most important things. Every day when I wake up, I'm like a complete empty brain. Like, what am I going to do today? I have to look into written documents to remember. It's very, very, very scary. So let's end this broadcast here. It's already quite late. And I hope you enjoyed it. It took a lot of time for me to compile all this information so that you can benefit. And if you like it, if you want to support my work, the information will be in the description of the video. Thank you very much. And for the ones who are watching this, just about I published this on the European or the Asian side. Good night, good morning on the American continent's side. You're just going to go to bed and have a good night's sleep, I hope, and have a good start of the week for everybody, and God bless you all, and God bless this planet. Thank you for watching.